Hi everyone, and a warm welcome to my videos. If you don't know me, my name is Gillian. I am a registered dietitian. I've been practicing for 24 years, helping thousands of people with their diet and optimizing their health. And in these videos that I want to talk to you about today is in and around the area of keeping weight loss off for good. So we're going to explore for you, your lifestyle, the background to your weight, and then how to implement a strategy that will keep you losing weight and then keeping it off for good. So are you one of these people that fears weight loss because you're worried about the fact that the food may taste bad, or you really don't like healthy food choices? Are you going to bed at night thinking, oh, I must get up in the morning and start a new regime, and then go to bed the next night and feel like a failure and that you've missed the opportunities? I know, I see this every day in my clinic. There are thousands of people that have great intentions for weight loss, or they've tried weight loss programs over and over and over again, and all they find is they'll lose some weight, gain it back, lose some more weight and gain that back, and maybe gain some more. So they've ended up in a worse situation than when they started. Why is this? Well, there are so many different diets out there, and we are bombarded with media telling us we need to look this way, we need to try this diet. There's keto, there's paleo, there's a cabbage soup diet from years ago. Honestly, in my 24 years experience as a dietitian, there have been so many diets out there, and they've come and gone, and actually they don't last because they can't succeed long term. And this is what I want to bring you back to, that it doesn't have to be difficult. It's actually very straightforward. It's got to be very enjoyable as part of it, and it's got to fit with you and your lifestyle. So the first bit I want to do is clear up any confusion, and there is a lot out there. But one big area that I've tackled in some other videos briefly on my YouTube channel is in and around the area of counting strict calories and macros. And if you're not sure what a macro is, it's a macronutrient, which is a protein, a fat, a carbohydrate. And we also have a fourth one that we don't always count, but we need to think about, is alcohol. And again, check out my other videos on macros for that. Why do we have to fear all of these and count them religiously? We don't. And it is possibly a very beneficial thing to know what you're eating, and to have a look at the packaging and check out the colourful labels on the front and know whether it's green, amber or red. It may be useful to know that the fibre content of your food, some of the nutrients in addition, so the salt content of your food, but religiously tracking and monitoring is not required, and certainly not long term, because that is really tedious. It derails you, it dissatisfies you, and all it does is make you feel like you're on a short journey that's going to end, when actually what you want to be doing is thinking, this is me for life. Until the day I pass away, I want to be eating healthy, well, and enjoy it. The other area that can be confusing is that you have to embark on some commercial weight loss program, and these things are there. They have some success for certain people, but on the whole, we know that these commercial weight loss programs really suck you in. You buy the product, you buy the program, and then you're caught in a vicious circle of feeling that you're not in control. You're relying on these products and the advice that's in there, and you actually don't really know what you're eating or how these things are making you effectively lose weight long term. And so you either can't afford them, so you stop using them, or your results start to slow down and you stop the program, your weight goes back on. What do? You go back to these shakes, meals, and very devoid of nutrient ideas, and sometimes they are just more disappointing than actually getting you to the end goal of weight loss for good. So I'm going to give you a few ideas in and around what you need to do to prepare yourself for a weight loss journey. So before you begin, you are going to say, right, what is my year like coming up? I have a wedding at the end of the year. I've got a birthday. I really want to lose a couple of pounds, maybe a couple of stone, a couple of kilos. I need to plan in advance. It cannot be a short, quick fix weight loss. It doesn't work. And actually what happens is you end up, if you lose weight very quickly, you end up losing muscle as well. And that's not ideal because you slow down your metabolism and it causes all sorts of issues when you stop what you're doing in this very quick, fast, and maybe painful way of weight loss. So the first thing, as I say, is you need to set aside some time to focus on the way that you are going to start eating foods, thinking about your lifestyle as a whole. So I always say you need to take at least 2 months where you are not having a major change of life, moving house, changing job, going on a major holiday, having a wedding come up. You need to give yourself at least 8 weeks of a free diary that you are going to focus on shopping and cooking and being mindful about what you are doing. So this is not meant to be a punishment. It's meant to be something for life, for long-term benefits, and it's got to be enjoyable. So when people come to me, we explore all the reasons behind what has happened in the past, why and how they've ended up at the weight that they currently are, and I get them to write down in a very simple chart some positives and negatives on how they're feeling. So for example, here the clothes sizes are going up, they're feeling out of breath, they maybe aren't sleeping particularly well. And then we get an idea of the positives. If they did lose weight, what kinds of things that they would find beneficial to them. And certainly we all know that it's really useful to be able to feel fitter, happier, healthier. So do that, make a note of the things that you, personal to you, will benefit from, and then that's a really good starting point to give you some motivation. So next we need to know what drives our obesity rates. And if you look at the information that we have in all the studies and the advice and the successes and the people that aren't successful, we know that we're driven by more than just our appetite and our need for fuel. And it's actually 4 areas that we can look at, and that's our environment, our emotions, our impulsiveness, and our early life experiences. It's very interesting to note that one area for early life experiences is if our parents were overweight, obese, or smoked. And that can actually have a negative impact on us as we grow up and grow older. So we have a disadvantage for that purpose. Another area that is very much involved in when and how and why we become obese, and that's in and around our environment. So we can live a very sheltered environment, and certainly COVID has probably highlighted to some people how previous to the lockdowns, how we lived quite a toxic life, and that when we had to be indoors and cooking more and looking at what we're eating, that those foods changed dramatically. And some people really did successfully well on weight loss and got fit, and other people gravitated to the takeaways and the fast foods and the junk foods from the supermarkets. So we can create our own environments, and they can be very healthy or very toxic, and that's what we need to also think about and explore more, and I'll do that in one of the other videos. Our behavior really does impact on our mood and the way we treat food and the emotions we attach to it. And if we're feeling guilty, angry, or having a bad day, it's very easy to reach for the foods that give us the salt, the sugar, and the fats, which give us that bliss point that I talked about in my other videos, and certainly I'll explore more. But in regards to that specifically with our feelings of mood and emotion, they're very tied in. So what we want to be trying to switch you to is thinking of good, positive thoughts, being happy with yourself as you are now, and knowing that it's going to get better, easier healthier, fitter, and put those positive thoughts every time you go to reach for a food that maybe you should be thinking of addressing and choosing something else instead. Talking about choosing other foods. In a world of plenty, we often become totally restricted and repetitive in our food choices. And it's easy to really overlook how singular or narrow your food choices become. And it's the same going to the supermarket, maybe going for a snack with your mates at a break time from work, buying a fast lunch from a supermarket, and then going home and having a takeaway or a ready meal from the supermarket again. And therefore you're not maybe eating freshly prepared foods as often as you think. And these become quite continually the same food choices over and over, and the variety of foods are becoming less and less. So what I like to do, again, in the preparation stage before you're going to do any weight loss journey, is to quick column of likes and dislikes. So things that a lot of people would find quite surprising when they write them out. So they definitely, maybe, or not at all, but often like things like breads, ice creams, maybe a small amount of fruit, but only 1 or 2 fruits. And so they're gravitating towards the crisps and the takeaways and the chocolates and snacky things, and not maybe having as nutritious choices. And then the nutritious choices that they may be disliking, and quite common actually, would be things like your avocados or your brown wholemeal foods, a variety. A lot of people I find don't like things like vegetables, and it could be from having issues as a child. And so yeah, we need to write out a list of our likes and dislikes, and then think about how we can get around those so that they either can be integrated cleverly or we find alternatives instead. Writing out the list is a great start. The next part of that would actually be keeping a food diary, and that food diary should be tied in with your activities, your sleep, how you feel, your mood, your energy levels, how much fluids you're drinking. So lots of things to write down in 1 week. And then it's great to be able to trawl through that week and go, wow, is that what I ate? Is that how I felt? Did I not sleep well? Because it's so easy to forget that that's your normal pattern, and actually it shouldn't be like that when you explore it in more detail. So that's also really important before you begin your weight loss journey, on how to start looking at what's happening in your everyday life, and then work out how you're going to address that. I will be going into how to address these things in more detail in my next video, but the one thing I want to leave you with in this video is the golden rule. And that is, you should not be making lots of changes all in one go. It's so easy to make those lists like I discussed, and then see, wow, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to think about this. And then starting Monday, all of these changes are put into action straight away. And then by the Friday, you are overwhelmed, not enjoying it, and thinking, oh no, I've failed again. And actually, it's not at all expected that you make 10, 15 changes in one go. It is far more beneficial if you take one item, one thing that you need to do, and run with it for a week, 10 days, 2 weeks before you become very familiar and integrated into your everyday without thinking. We actually know that about 21 days is a really good indicator of if you've been able to implement something for that length of time, that you're likely to stick with it for long term. So do bear in mind that nothing needs to be done overnight all at once, because no one can operate like that. Our lives are so fluid and so varied each day from one to the other that you have to be able to move with those changes and integrate the good stuff as well as mitigate the bad stuff. So that is the golden rule that I want to end with. Don't make lots and lots of changes all in one go. Slow and steady wins the race. So I hope you enjoyed that. I will be doing some more in this series, so do subscribe, like and share so that we can get more people on the right journey for weight loss. But until then, many thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.